John Cena's WWE Disappearance is actually a genius move. The best and worst of WWE SmackDown from Barcelona. When will Rey Fenix step into WWE? Jade Cargill's SmackDown interview flops big time. Solo Sikoa's massive botch edited out by WWE immediately. Brock Lesnar spotted in town with wife Sable. Why Alexa Bliss missed WWE SmackDown again. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga keep hinting at ditching Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman is leaving Roman Reigns. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE SmackDown from Barcelona. WWE SmackDown rolled into Barcelona, Spain for the first time ever. The Miz had Cody Rhodes lined up for Miz TV, but a wild fight between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair crashed the party. The Miz cut Cody's entrance short to keep things moving, and the champ roasted him for it. Miz swore he'd be at Raw in Brussels, Belgium, since John Cena's been MIA since the Elimination Chamber chaos. Two creepy video clips aired, one showing a masked wrestler perched on a ring post, the other with black smoke and maybe a 4 or an A. Are Rey Fenix and Aleister Black coming? WWE skipped Alexa Bliss again, while Randy Orton handed Carmelo Hayes another defeat. Here's the rundown of SmackDown's highs and lows from Barcelona. Number 1. Worst. Jade's clueless rant. Kathy Kelly sat down with Jade Cargill on SmackDown, letting the storm vent about last November's attack. She admitted she didn't see it happen, but spotted Naomi bolting away. Jade was mostly mad because she didn't want Naomi deciding what she deserved, which made her sound full of herself. When Kelly asked why she didn't speak up sooner, Jade just shrugged. She kept griping about Belair teaming with Naomi like it was no big deal. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez stormed in, demanding an apology, but Jade brushed them off. The whole thing felt messy. Jade didn't even see the attack, so hopefully more truth comes out soon. Number 2. Best. NXT UK shines bright on SmackDown. Gunther showed up in Barcelona to take on Spain's own Axiom. No surprise, the match was awesome, showing off why Axiom and the Ring General are wrestling wizards. Axiom kept up with the giant Gunther using his speed and slick moves. It took 2 powerbombs and a brutal lariat to finally knock out one half of the NXT Tag Team Champs. Even though most of NXT UK's crew is gone from WWE, seeing its spirit live on in matches like this on Raw and SmackDown is a total win. Number 3. Best and worst. LA Knight's title drama heats up. LA Knight, fresh off snagging the US title from Shinsuke Nakamura last week, hit the mic. Jimmy Uso cut him off, begging for a shot. Solo Sikoa jumped in next. Braun Strowman stepped up to back Knight and Uso, so Nick Aldis set up a 6-man match. Knight, Jimmy, and Strowman versus Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. Winning clearly doesn't matter for title shots. Solo and Jimmy lose more than they win. The match was solid, and the crowd went nuts for the good guys' victory. Another loss stings for Sikoa and Fatu, but the wild car crash beatdown after was the real highlight. It's setting up a monster clash between Strowman and Fatu next week. Number 4. Worst. Charlotte's big return falls flat. Charlotte took down B-Fab in her first match in over 15 months. Why is she only back now, 40 days after the Rumble? She got fireworks again for her entrance, just like before. It's tough to care when one fighter's hyped up like Charlotte and the other's treated like B-Fab. The match was sloppy, punches and moves looked off. Charlotte won, no shock there, but only let go of her submission when Tiffany Stratton charged in. She flattened Stratton fast. The crowd ate up the brawl, but WWE overuses that trick. It felt tired. Both wore pink, making it a blurry mess, and Charlotte shrugged off Stratton's moonsault like it was nothing, popping up 5 seconds later. Number 5. Best. Drew's feud with Priest makes perfect sense. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest are locked in for WrestleMania 41. After some tense run-ins, Drew laid out a clear case for why he's after Priest in 2025. He brought up the Archer of Infamy cashing in on him at WrestleMania 40 and beating him twice with CM Punk's help. The Scottish Warrior also hated that Priest dumped him from the Rumble in Chamber, though that's just how those matches go. Drew wasn't done. He ambushed Priest during his match with Shinsuke Nakamura. Those two vets clicked with their hard-hitting style. Weirdly, only one ref tried to stop Drew. Guess everyone else was still shook from Stratton's Swanton bomb. Number 6. Best and worst. Title swaps are losing their punch. WWE's leaning hard on title changes before WrestleMania 41. 5 belts flipped hands in 2 weeks across all 3 brands. Sky, Shawn Spears, LA Knight, Stephanie Vacker, and the Street Profits all grabbed gold. The SmackDown tag match was killer, no surprise with the division's depth. Johnny Gargano's accidental kick to Tommaso Ciampa handed the Profits the win, but doing this over and over makes each switch feel less special. Number 7. Worst. Reigns ghosts his own big day. Paul Heyman hit the ring, calling it Roman Reigns Day for the WWE 2K25 launch. But just like the cover reveal, Reigns didn't show. The Wiseman promised the Tribal Chief would pop up live in Italy next week, and the Barcelona crowd booed hard. Heyman told them to quit whining and buy cheap flights instead. His promo tanked, easily one of his worst ever. Since Reigns returned on Raw, he should have explained himself. Instead, he's still dodging big moments like this. The crowd's fed up, and honestly, so are we. When will Rey Fenix step into WWE? Rey Fenix's long-awaited WWE debut is getting closer, and the wrestling world is holding its breath. A mysterious vignette on the latest SmackDown dropped a big hint about his arrival, and now fresh details are spilling out about when fans might see him in action. His brother Penta already jumped ship from AEW to WWE after his contract ran out in December 2024. Penta's been tearing it up on Raw, still unpinned on the main roster. Meanwhile, Rey Fenix was stuck in AEW, itching to break free. He finally got his release, and all signs point to him joining Penta in WWE soon. This week's SmackDown gave us two cryptic video teases. One screamed Rey Fenix, showing a masked figure perched on a ring post, while the other, with black smoke and a possible 4 or A, hinted at Aleister Black's return. According to Corey Hayes from Bodyslam.net, Rey Fenix could make his big televised debut in the next few weeks. That puts him on track to show up before WrestleMania 41, which is set for April 19th to 20th, 2025. On the flip side, the same report says Aleister Black, who got cut from WWE in 2021, might not pop up on SmackDown until after the massive event. Since both vignettes aired on the Blue brand, it looks like Rey Fenix and Black are headed there. With today being March 15th, 2025, the next few weeks could mean any time between now and early April. Rey Fenix might crash the scene on SmackDown as soon as next Friday, or build suspense right up to WrestleMania's doorstep. Either way, his debut's shaping up to be a game changer, especially with Penta already in the mix. Get ready, things are about to heat up. Jade Cargill's SmackDown interview flops big time. Jade Cargill had a lot on her mind during this week's SmackDown, and she let it rip in an interview. She's been clashing with Naomi ever since her WWE comeback at Elimination Chamber, but the sit-down chat in Barcelona turned into a total mess. Wrestling old-timer Vince Russo, spilling his thoughts on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Bro Down show, didn't hold back about what went wrong. He said the whole thing felt flat and fake, missing the fire it needed. Here's what Russo had to say. "I wish they would have did a couple of takes, the Jade Cargill interview, because there was not enough emotion. It sounded scripted. When Leave and Rodriguez came in, it sounded even more scripted. This just really came off as scripted. Everything was plotted, there was a lack of emotion. And that should not happen when you're doing a pre-tape like this, Mac." He wasn't done either. He slammed WWE for using the interview to book a match between Jade and Liv Morgan, half of the women's tag team champs, for next week's show. It was a bad call, he argued. Russo kept going. It wasn't the place to make a match for next week. That should have been, and like you said, Mac, an emotional promo. And instead it came out like she was 100% scripted and we went right to a match for next week at that same. I just don't understand. The people there just not know what they're doing. I don't understand, Mac. The vibe was off from the start. Jade aired her beef with Naomi, but it sounded like she was reading a grocery list. Then Leave and Raquel Rodriguez barged in, and it got even stiffer, like a play rehearsal gone wrong. Jade stepping back into the ring next week against Liv, her first singles match since August 9th, 2024. At 32, she's got a lot riding on this. Can she shake off the awkward vibes and grab a win? After that interview, folks are wondering if she'll bring the heat or just stumble through another script. Next Friday's SmackDown will tell the tale. Solo Sikoa's massive botch edited out by WWE immediately. Solo Sikoa had a rough moment on the latest SmackDown, and WWE didn't waste a second cleaning it up. During a live promo, he stumbled hard, accidentally letting an F-bomb slip after flubbing his line. It was meant for the USA Network airing, and that kind of language was a no-go for the company and the network. Before Solo could even recover, Jimmy Uso lost it, cracking up in the ring and breaking character right alongside everyone watching live. But WWE swooped in fast, chopping it out before the taped version hit the USA Network. In the unedited moment, Solo started with, "Wide OHF, why don't you do us a favor and step aside?" It was a messy stumble, and the swear made it worse. The live crowd and Netflix viewers worldwide caught it all, but the polished version swapped it out for something cleaner. Now it's just, "Why don't you step aside since you're known to be the failure?" Smooth, simple, and safe. Stuff like this happens on live TV. It's unpredictable, and there's usually no fixing it in the moment. But since WWE had a buffer before the USA airing on March 14th, 2025, they jumped on it. Those watching the live stream got the raw, unfiltered goof, while the taped crowd saw the scrubbed take. It's a tale of two SmackDowns, and Solo's big blunder is already a ghost in the edited world. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga keep hinting at ditching Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga are stirring the pot, dropping clues they might turn on Solo Sikoa. The three are still a unit for now, even after eating another loss on this week's SmackDown in Barcelona, Spain. The show started hot with Jimmy Uso stepping up to LA Knight, throwing out a challenge for the United States Championship. That's when Sikoa, Fatu, and Tonga crashed the scene, cutting off Knight and Uso. Sikoa claimed Jacob Fatu was the only one worthy of that US title. With the odds stacked against them, Uso and Knight got back up when Braun Strowman rolled out. GM Nick Aldis made it official, a six-man tag match. Knight, Jimmy, and Strowman came out on top, beating Sikoa, Fatu, and Tonga. But after the bell, Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, went rogue, laying out Strowman with a vicious attack before storming off alone, leaving Sikoa behind. There's been bad blood brewing between Fatu and Sikoa for weeks. Ever since Sikoa lost the Ula Fala to Roman Reigns on the January 6th, 2025, Raw on Netflix, Fatu hasn't given him the time of day. Sikoa's been struggling to keep the Bloodline on top. With him calling the shots, they got crushed by the OG Bloodline in the 2024 Men's War Games match. He and Fatu also tanked a big tag match against Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at Bad Blood 2024. Every loss chips away at Sikoa's grip, and Fatu's not hiding his frustration. Tonga's been quiet, but he's sticking close to Fatu. Makes you wonder where his loyalty really lies. After that post-match beatdown, it's clear something's simmering. Fatu didn't even glance at Sikoa as he walked out. Is WWE setting the stage for a blow-up between these two? With today being March 15th, 2025, and WrestleMania 41 just weeks away, a Fatu-Sikoa clash could be the spark the Bloodline needs, or the final crack that breaks it apart. We'll have to wait and see if betrayal's in the cards. Why Alexa Bliss missed WWE SmackDown again? Alexa Bliss made a huge splash when she returned to WWE after 2 years away, stepping into the Women's Royal Rumble match earlier this year. The crowd lost it when she showed up at Royal Rumble 2025, rocking a Fiend Forever jacket to honor Bray Wyatt. But this week's SmackDown, live from Barcelona, Spain, came and went without her. She hasn't wrestled since the Women's Elimination Chamber match on March 1st, and folks are starting to wonder what's up. Bliss has been busy with life outside the ring. She tied the knot with musician Ryan Cabrera in 2022, and they welcomed their daughter in November 2023. Just before SmackDown, she posted on Instagram stories that she was nowhere near Spain. Instead, she was chilling at home, enjoying a family movie dinner date night with her crew. With WWE touring Europe, it's anyone's guess if she'll pop up before they head back. The Wyatt Six, that spooky group tied to Bray Wyatt's legacy, crashed onto the scene last year with a killer debut, but things fizzled fast. They got stuck on Raw, tangling with the Final Testament for months with no real direction. Karrion Kross pinned Uncle Howdy in a six-man tag match on December 9th, 2024, teaming with the Authors of Pain, who, along with Paul Ellering, got cut from WWE recently. After losing that feud, the Wyatt Six shifted to SmackDown, but they've been ghosts ever since. WWE might be waiting for the right moment to bring them back, maybe with Bliss stepping in as their new leader. Bliss's last matches didn't go her way. Liv Morgan tossed her out of the Rumble, then got the upper hand again in the chamber. Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the current women's tag team champs, are busy now with Jade Cargill. This week on SmackDown, Morgan confronted Cargill after some old drama about an attack last year. Turns out Naomi was behind it, not Judgment Day. Next Friday, Morgan and Cargill are set to throw down one-on-one, but there's talk WWE might be cooking up something bigger for WrestleMania 41, like Bliss teaming with Nikki Cross, her old tag partner from the Wyatt Six, to challenge Morgan and Rodriguez for the titles. They've held that gold together before. Still, WWE might be holding off on that tag match to let Morgan and Cargill's story play out first, or maybe they've got nothing lined up for Bliss right now. At 33, she could be taking another break after her family time. With today being March 15th, 2025, and WrestleMania 41 just a month away, we'll see if Bliss stays home or steps back into the spotlight soon. Brock Lesnar spotted in town with wife Sable. Brock Lesnar and his wife Sable popped up together in Virginia Beach, turning heads and sparking chatter. They're in town today and tomorrow, and it's not just a random visit. Lesnar's been off WWE TV for years, and with the Janelle Grant lawsuit mess swirling, some thought he might be done with wrestling for good, but he's still on the WWE roster. No one's wiped him off the books yet, which might mean there's hope for a comeback. Even Triple H has said if Brock wants to talk about stepping back into the ring, WWE's door is open. So why are they here? PW Insider spilled the details. Brock and Sable are cheering on their daughter Maya Lesnar at the 2025 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. It's happening March 14th to 15th at the Virginia Beach Sports Center, today and tomorrow, since it's March 15th, 2025 right now. Maya's a shot put star at Colorado State, and her parents are there to back her up as she competes. Brock's not in WWE's current playbook, but that doesn't mean he's out forever. Fans who caught a glimpse of him noticed he's looking different, slimmer, with a tidier beard, and it's got people wondering if he's gearing up for a wrestling return. Wrestling insider Bill Apter chimed in saying, "It's hard for me to say if he will make a comeback. But again, there's always that possibility of a surprise with someone like Brock Lesnar. A WrestleMania shock could be on the table, and folks are buzzing about it. For now, though, Brock's focused on family, not suplexes. Whether he'll trade the bleachers for the squared circle again is anyone's guess. It's not a done deal, but it's definitely not off the radar either. Fans will just have to sit tight and see what the beast decides." Paul Heyman is leaving Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns might be in for a gut punch as WrestleMania 41 looms closer. Word spreading that Paul Heyman, his loyal Wiseman, could be ready to jump ship, and former WWE star Matthew Rehwoldt, better known as Aiden English, is all in for it. He's hyped about the idea of Heyman leaving the Tribal Chief to side with CM Punk. This all ties back to last year, when Heyman owed Punk a favor for stepping up to help the OG Bloodline take down Solo Sikoa's crew at Survivor Series, War Games. Punk's kept that favor card close to his chest, dropping hints on TV, but never cashing it in. On the Rebooked Wrestling podcast, one host threw out a wild theory: what if Punk's favor is Heyman turning his back on Reigns? Aiden English didn't miss a beat, saying, "I love what Jake's talking about. CM Punk's favor would be for Paul Heyman to turn on Roman Reigns, and I've heard one or two people suggest something similar." With WrestleMania 41 set for April 19th to 20th in Las Vegas, the chatter's picking up steam. Heyman's been out of the picture for months, but he stormed back to SmackDown before Survivor Series last year, dragging Punk into the OG Bloodline's War Games squad. He played peacemaker between Reigns and Punk, but Roman wasn't buying it. Trust was never there. Things got uglier this year when Punk knocked both Reigns and Seth Rollins out of the Royal Rumble, lighting a fire under the Tribal Chief. Rollins got his revenge quick, but the real chaos hit on the latest Raw. Reigns roared back, pummeling Rollins outside a steel cage. Inside, Heyman rushed to check on Punk, his old buddy from way back. That flipped a switch in Reigns, who charged in and laid out Punk while glaring at Heyman, who looked stuck between shock and guilt. It's a mess ready to explode. Reigns has leaned on Heyman for years, but that cage moment showed cracks. Punk's got history with Heyman too, deep ties from the early 2000s and 10s, and that favor's still dangling out there. Could Heyman really ditch Reigns after all they've built? English and others see it coming. The road to Mania is heating up fast. If Heyman walks, it's not just a betrayal, it's a whole new war. John Cena's WWE disappearance is actually a genius move. John Cena's been off WWE TV, and it's got people talking, especially with WrestleMania 41 on the horizon. On the latest Wrestling Time Machine podcast, host Mac Davis asked WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long about the big gripe. Cena's gone quiet since his jaw-dropping heel turn at Elimination Chamber Toronto. Fans reckon WWE dropped the ball by not riding that wave, but Teddy Long sees it differently. The ex-SmackDown GM thinks keeping Cena away is the smart play, letting the tension with Cody Rhodes simmer and grow. Long didn't mince words. "You're rushing it. Why do you always want to rush stuff? You can make something happen in 6 minutes. So stop rushing stuff. This is great. You shouldn't see him right now because now this builds the heat. The heat is building, so when you do see him, you'll see how it explodes." He's betting that absence makes the feud hotter, setting up a massive payoff when Cena finally steps back into the spotlight. Cena's breaking his silence soon, March 17th, 2025 on Raw. He's locked in for the next 2 Raws after that, March 24th and 31st, but don't expect him on SmackDown, even though Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champ, calls the blue brand home. After those Raw dates, it seems Cena's gone again until WrestleMania 41 on April 19th to 20th, where he's pegged to headline Night 2. But hold up, there's more. He's also booked for the SmackDown after Mania on April 25th, plus Backlash 2025 in St. Louis on May 10th, Saturday night's main event on May 24th, and SmackDown shows on May 30th, June 13th, and June 20th. That packed schedule's got fans piecing it together. Some think Cena could snag his 17th world title at WrestleMania in Las Vegas, then reignite his epic clash with Randy Orton at Backlash. Teddy Long's take might be spot on. Keeping Cena off TV now could turn his return into a powder keg, especially against Rhodes. With the road to WrestleMania hitting full speed, Cena's quiet streak might just be the slow burn that lights up the whole damn show.